Alrighty. Welcome, everybody. We're going to be talking today about product-led growth for meetings and team chat on Zoom. I'm Arun Janakiraman. I'm a group product manager at Zoom. Donte?
Hello, everyone. My name is Donte Small, and I'm a developer advocate here at Zoom.
Before we begin, do want to call out our safe harbor statement. Any forward-looking indication of plans or products here, including the development and release and timing of any features or functionalities, preliminary, and all future release dates are tentative and subject to change without notice. I do encourage you to take a moment to view the full text of this safe harbor statement. With that, we'll dive into our agenda today. So we're going to be starting off with an overview of the Zoom platform offering. And then we'll talk a little bit about building habit-forming loops for Zoom apps on Zoom. We'll look at what are Zoom apps and how they work in meetings and how they work in team chat as well. And finally, Donte will be going deeper into product-led growth tactics, code snippets, and demos. We have 5 different product-led growth tactics for you today. Here's an overview of the platform. So Zoom meetings and team chat are crucial tools for comprehensive collaboration for millions of people daily. Zoom apps enable seamless workflows by bringing apps directly into the Zoom meeting experience. The collaborative nature of Zoom is perfect for app developers to leverage organic and viral growth tactics. Collaborating using Zoom apps on Zoom is made possible by bringing web apps into the Zoom experience. So what we're doing here is taking regular web apps and elevating them into Zoom apps by writing into the API and SDK offerings that we have. Users may often achieve their goals in a standard web browser, but by bringing apps into Zoom, it elevates the experience in 2 ways. It's more contextual, and that makes it easy for deeper engagement, but it also makes it easy to distribute your apps within Zoom, as you'll see in a moment. But the key here is reducing friction and distractions because people are focused focused on a particular topic or goal during a meeting or chat. And habit formation is the key to success here. So the premise of building habit-forming loops is based on a very simple but core notion here, which is when you're in a meeting, it's only a meeting if there's more than one person in it. And the same goes for team chat as well. With Zoom, you're always communicating with other people. So that forms the basic premise here. So if you look at our growth loop for Zoom apps, we start with input here on the top left, where social actions such as invoking collaborate mode, interactive chatbots, reminders, and link unfurls can prompt user engagement. Users can take action by collaborating real-time using collaborate mode. You can send in interactive cards to team chat with card compose. The output of that can be used in the form of guest mode for other participants to bring in new participants who are non-users of the app into the app and to acquire them. You can onboard and activate these users instantly with guest mode, and you'll see more about how we can do that. But essentially, guest mode allows you to use allows users to use your app instantly without having to authenticate or sign in. And the action of this here is you can deepen engagement, set foundations for retention with things like support for slash commands, customized chat messages, and continued asynchronous engagement with app web views in Team Chat. This can form a healthy growth loop and acquire new users, but also activate and engage them further. So what are Zoom apps in meetings? In meetings, the focus is on robust synchronous collaboration. Zoom apps are essentially web views. They're running inside an embedded browser in the Zoom client. Once they're published in the Zoom app marketplace, users can add and use them within the Zoom client. This creates engaging experiences for customers before, during, and after meetings. The Zoom Apps SDK provides developers with the resources and the support infrastructure needed to build Zoom apps within the Zoom client. Whereas in Team Chat, the focus is on robust asynchronous communication. Zoom apps in Team Chat are direct extensions to your service, and third-party apps can be used in the Zoom Team Chat frame and experience. By building one application using the unified build flow, developers can take advantage of multiple surface areas, including Zoom Team Chat. The Zoom Apps SDK package also enables you to open web views to third-party apps within chat, such as chat compose shortcuts, message shortcuts, and button actions. These are levers to open some of those web views. And we'll see here very briefly where Zoom Apps fits within our larger developer ecosystem framework. So the highlighted green rectangle on the top left is where is the surface area. It's the front end that's within Zoom. And that's going to be the focus of our presentation today. With that, I'm going to pass it to Donte.
Hello, everyone, and thanks again for joining our Zoom Developer Summit session. My name is Donte, and I'm a member of the Zoom Developer Relations team. In this part of the session, we're going to dive into the powerful tools and features offered by the Zoom Developer Platform. We'll be focusing on how you can integrate these into your application to enhance both collaboration and communication. We've heard from Arun, and we've heard all about the concept of product-led growth and habit-forming loops. Imagine integrating these experiences seamlessly into your application or platform. Exciting, right? Well, now, in the next couple of slides, we'll be diving into exactly how you can make this happen. To begin, we will first hear from Arun, then we will explore the Zoom App SDK, which is the core tool that empowers you to integrate Zoom features seamlessly into your application or platform. We'll also cover some notable APIs that we see really help with driving application adoption. With that, I'll pass it back to Arun.
Thank you, Donte. So let's look at product-led growth tactic number 1. The focus here is on collaborate mode and guest mode. So what collaborate mode is it's an interactive multi-user screen sharing experience. Imagine a meeting where you have 1 out of 10 users using your app. Now you can instantly send the other users an invitation to collaborate. And once those users accept the invite and join, they can instantly open the app using guest mode, even if they're not signed into Zoom, even if they don't have the app added. You can preview them, preview a version of your app for those users, and then enhance that experience, prompting them to sign in or sign up for your app. That's how you acquire new users using collaborate mode and guest mode. So here we're looking at the 3 modalities within guest mode. So you have unauthenticated users who are not signed into Zoom, and we don't know if they have your app added or not. And then authenticated users who are signed into Zoom, and that's the point at which we can determine if they have the app or not. If they don't have the app, they can still use your app in guest mode. And then, of course, you have authorized users who are in the best case scenario, where they're users of your app and they're signed into Zoom as well. With that, I'm going to pass it back to Donte to talk about PLG Tactic 2 onwards.
Thanks, Arun. So now in the next couple of slides, we will explore sending messages with the Zoom app SDK. Then we will cover sending messages with the Zoom REST API. So the first topic we're going to cover is sending messages with the Zoom SDK. The Zoom app SDK supports sending interactive messages that are previewed in a user's card compose box within the chat context. With card compose interactive messages, we see it greatly increases user participation and interaction within chat channels. For example, imagine a project manager sending a task preview in the team chat. With card compose, team members can easily see the snapshot of the task directly in the chat channel, giving them a clear overview without leaving the Zoom app. This preview keeps everyone really informed and engaged, making it very easy to follow and keep up with all discussion. We see that card compose interactive messages really make communication dynamic and engaging for users by creating a more personalized communication experience. It's a perfect way to enhance communication and make sure that the information is always readily available within your organization's chat channels. Now that we covered the Zoom app SDK and we heard about guest mode and collaboration mode, now let's dive into Zoom Team Chat REST APIs and webhooks. We'll explore how it can be used not only to enable seamless in-meeting, pre and post conversations, but also to enhance productivity by aligning users with existing third-party user experiences. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at the Zoom Team Chat framework. It's important to call out that the Team Chat leverages two powerful frameworks within one application. The first is the Zoom Team Chat framework, which uses Zoom REST APIs and webhooks to integrate seamlessly with third-party APIs. The second is the Zoom Apps framework, which allows users to open web views to third-party applications via chat and message shortcuts and button actions, all within the Team Chat environment. So imagine, for example, you're collaborating on a project and need to quickly access third-party servers, like a Task Manager app. Directly from within the chat, with this integration, for example, you can seamlessly open and interact with the app without leaving the conversation. This really helps with streamlining primary workflows and enhancing productivity and help ensuring that you have all the tools you need right at the end of your fingertips. Now, let's talk more about the Zoom Team Chat REST APIs. So Zoom Team Chat REST APIs is what allows for you to programmatically send and receive messages. When you combine it with webhooks, you create a more responsive and interactive communication flows from your application, extending to the Zoom Team Chat. For example, using a webhook, you can set up notifications for specific events, such as when a new message is posted, and respond automatically by sending a card or a message through the Zoom Team Chat REST API endpoint. This kind of integration enables you to automate processes and connect primary workflows within the Team Chat environment, providing users with a more familiar and branded virtual experience within the Zoom platform. Now, let's talk about customizing messages to ensure they are clear and concise and easy for users to understand and interact with. So to start, you can send and edit chat messages by providing a request body to the chat endpoint. The chat endpoints expect the request body to include identifying information to ensure proper routing and handling, as you can see in the left image. When it comes to customizing an image, customization of a message is managed within the content property of the JSON structure, which is you can see in the GIF playing on the right. Inside the content property, you can define various elements such as text, buttons, and other interactive components. So, for instance, you can include specific commands or actions via third-party APIs. This creating a more interactive and branded messaging experience. Additionally, which was mentioned earlier, with the Zoom app framework, you can embed web views directly within chat messages or team chat shortcuts. So this provides users with external access, immediate access to your app or your service within the chat environment. So they don't have to leave. They can just open up the web view and access whatever asset they may need in that moment. For example, you could display a real-time dashboard or other interactive messages directly in the chat. Finally, another feature within the chat environment that is very popular and really helps with application adoption is link unfurls. With link unfurls, this really enhances the user experience by sending links that unfurl, as it provides users with the preview of the content directly within the chat. So users will be able to quickly understand the context of a link without needing to leave the chat, streamlining the interaction with that shared content. Now that we've covered the core Zoom developer tools, let's move on to a live demo.
All right, so let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to want to install the Zoom app. I currently don't have it installed, so I'll go through the install flow. You can see here in the Zoom team chat that there's no Zoom app installed. So I've already copied the install URL. I'll go ahead and paste that into the browser. I'll hit allow. As you can see, it's prompting me to install the Zoom app team chat demo. And hitting OK, you now see a message in the client. And in the team chat environment, we see that the chat bot is installed. And if we navigate over to the Zoom Apps tab, we see that the Zoom app is now currently installed. So this app is accessible within the client and the team chat, all with one installation process. All right, so now let's go ahead and test guest mode. So on the right, I'll be joining as an unauthenticated user, and on the left, I'll be joining as an authenticated user. So I'm going to go ahead and start a meeting as an authenticated user. I'll click through the prompts, and I already have the passcode, so I'll click join. Let me grab the meeting information. So I'm copying the passcode. Okay, perfect. Now I have successfully joined a meeting as a guest user, and we have the second client. So I have two clients, remember. So I'm going to move the second client over to the right. So just remember, on the right side, that is a guest user. On the left side, that is an authenticated user. So as an authenticated user, I'll pop open the Zoom app because the Zoom app is already installed on this user's account. And I'll scroll down and I'll look for the application. So here we have the application. I'll go ahead and move this window over. And as you can see, we have pulled in the data. So there's two ways we can start collaboration mode. We can do it from the default button or from a button in the UI. I'll go ahead and click start collaboration from a button I've created in the third-party application. And as you can see, once I hit allow, the app moves over to the main area of the meeting where you would normally see users, and the users become a sidecar, and the application is the main piece. As you see on the right side, as a guest user, I'm able to just simply view the screen. In order for me to actually interact with it, I have to go to the prompt authorize. So right now I'm in guest mode, and as you can see, I can move through different pages, but I have to authorize in order to see this actual page. So I'll go ahead and hit prompt authorize. It's prompting me to sign in. I'll go ahead and sign in. All right, perfect. So we have successfully signed in, and now when we go back to the meeting, let me just move this client over. Just move this over just a little bit. All right, perfect. So when we go back to the meeting, we'll still see the prompt authorize. But this time when we hit it, it's asking us to add the app. This will add the Zoom app to this user's account. I'll go ahead and hit allow, and now the app is added to their account, and it immediately opens in the meeting. And now the user has elevated privileges and can interact with the app now. So they can click buttons, update, they can write in the text editor to collaborate, all without having to leave. So I'll go ahead and end the collaboration mode. We're done with the collaboration mode. Now we'll move on to sending messages. So first, let me go ahead and exit this meeting, and I'll go ahead and close the extra client. All right, now the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna test sending a message to a live chat. So we can send a message to a meeting live. I'll go ahead and type, hello, are there any updates today? And I'll hit send. And when we go over and check the live chat, we see that that message has been sent and there's a card attached to it. So now I'll show that you can also send messages to any selected team chat. So I'll go ahead and write, hello, can you send the link to the website? Okay, perfect. So now I hit send, and we'll go ahead and pop over the client, and I'll move that to the side. And let's, for ending the meeting, let's have a look at the chats, and we can see that the chat that we sent earlier is there, the message we just sent, and the chat that we sent to the persistent chat is also available in the team chat. So I'll go ahead and end the meeting, and I'll move this to the middle. Now let's take a look at the message we see. We're going to click the button and it will trigger the corresponding action. So after we click the button, a webhook is sent to our backend, and then we respond with the interactive card. This card includes a deep link and a button to open up a web view. So let's start by opening up the deep link. So I'll pop open my browser and I'll go ahead and click the image to deep link back to the application. And this will initialize the deep link flow. And as you can see, I am now being prompted to open the Zoom app, and it automatically opens the Zoom app. All right, let's go ahead and jump back over to the Zoom team chat and click the open in Zoom web view button. This action will open a web view via the chat button, allowing us to select a recording and send a preview card using the user's card components. This feature is available through various chat channels as well via the app shortcut, so users can access this third-party application throughout the entire chat interface. In addition to web views, Zoom Team Chat supports slash commands. For example, here I can use the get recording slash command to retrieve recordings by specifying the to and from dates. So right in the chat channel, I can quickly access and share all of my recordings or other assets without leaving the chat interface. Alongside slash commands, link unfurling is another notable Zoom Team Chat messaging productivity feature. So here, by sending an approved domain within the chat channel, for example, you can see the link will automatically expand to display rich previews of the content. Features such as commands and link unfurls are really designed to streamline workflows and keep all necessary information right within your fingertips, making Zoom Team Chat a very powerful tool for collaboration and communication. Okay, so how did I build this sample app? I used the Zoom app SDK and the Zoom app REST APIs. The Zoom app SDK is what provides the function to enable the sample app to be built within the Zoom client. The sample app uses many Zoom app SDK APIs. For collaboration mode, for example, the following APIs need to be enabled in the Zoom marketplace. However, the key API I want to highlight is the get user context. This API controls the app behavior based on whether the user is a single user or a multiple user. When it comes to Zoom Team Chat REST APIs, the main one used in the sample app are the send a chat and the link unfurl API. Now, let's take a look at the Marketplace app and check out the settings page. On the service page, I've selected the meetings, webinars, rooms, and team chat. These are the products the app is available in. I'm also using a unified build flow app, which allows you to add multiple products within a single app. This means you can enable or disable the products you need without adding multiple apps. In this case, I've enabled the Zoom app and the team chat features. I've added several APIs, including the get running context. This API is crucial because it provides the contents needed when building immersive workflows. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the code. I highlight 4 components where I use some of the Zoom app SDK APIs and REST APIs. The first component is the collaborate button component. In this component, I have 2 functions we'll focus on. One that handles starting and ending collaboration mode, and another to join and leave the collaboration mode. So you can see with just one line of code, you can execute a Zoom app's SDK API call, making it easy to start integrating Zoom features seamlessly into your third-party application. The second component is the preview card component. In this component, I send a message using a user's card compose box. Here, the function we're going to look at is the send card function. As you can see, I make a call to the Zoom Apps SDK Card Compose API. This is how we're able to send preview cards within WebViews in the team chat interface. The next component we're going to check out is guest mode. In guest mode, we do some prompt drilling to check the state of the variable showing in client OAuth prompt. Depending on the value, what's shown on the page is determined by whether the user is authenticated, unauthenticated, or authorized. The next component we want to look at is the send message component. This component leverages the Zoom REST APIs to customize sending messages. As you can see at the top, we have our JSON structure configured for sending a rich text chat message here. And the last component we want to look at is the text editor. I'm using the Quill text editor package here, but I've also added the guest mode component here. This is what prevents users from seeing or accessing a Zoom page without being authenticated. So if a user is not authenticated, they will be prompted to authorize, just like we saw on the user info page. And that's it. I hope you learned something valuable from this video and are excited to apply this knowledge. Thanks again for watching.
Thank you, Dante. With that, we'll look at an example here, an app named BrightHire. BrightHire is seamlessly integrated across Zoom Phone, Zoom Video, and Zoom Team Chat. This provides a seamless experience for users across the application, tracking, lifecycle, and hiring process, in essence. The way BrightHire uses Zoom Video, Zoom Team Chat, and uses these growth levers that we talked about earlier is works perfectly for them to acquire new users within the Zoom ecosystem. So here are all the possible surface areas where you can integrate your apps within Zoom products. So starting with the most popular today, meetings, but also webinars, team chat, Zoom rooms, and Zoom phone. These are available today. Contact center and whiteboard are coming soon, and you'll be able to build one app that works seamlessly across these different surfaces. What it also means is your users need to just install one app, and you get to build and maintain and publish just one app in the app marketplace. So what's next? You can check out our documentation for more resources. There's plenty of blog posts where you'll find insightful, in-depth information on all things developer platform related. We have a number of sample apps on our GitHub pages, which can often be useful as boilerplate apps as well. And of course, we have a community online on our developer forum where you can engage with both staff, but also other like-minded developers to find answers you may be looking for. Thank you so much for attending our session and joining us today. If you have questions, we will be taking them now. So Frank has a question about the Zoom GitHub URL. We will be sharing these resources in the chat in just a moment. So Lux has a question. Would Zoom event surfaces be the same as meetings and webinars? No, they would be a slightly distinct surface, but apps that are built for webinars will be working in Zoom events, and we'll be opening up additional APIs and events for Zoom events, the specific parts of the surface soon as well.
Yeah, that's a great call out, Arun. We're constantly looking for ways to improve the platform. So, your feedback is more than welcome to help us improve and make the product more adaptable to your use case.
But yeah, to be more direct about the webinar part of the question, yes, if your app is supported for webinars, it can work in a Zoom event. Alrighty. It looks like the questions have stopped trickling in. But yeah, do click on the resources tab for all the links that we referenced. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks.